Hello and welcome to today's video. Today we are here for the return to summer. Now, on Wednesday, we discussed the 5 worst championships that I've seen, including the 3 most recent Patriots Super Bowls in the 2 NBA Finals losses for the Golden State Warriors, 2016 and 2019. But now we're here to better moments where we're going to discuss the 5 best championship moments personally. Now, in the last time, talking about the Warriors losing 2 championships, it's kind of tough to discuss your team losing and, expressing how it feels to have your team lose. So now I have times of your team winning, and I'm very, very excited about this. To sort of talk about teams winning, I'm recording this the day after the Warriors lost the 2019 finals, so to discuss winning and how exciting that is, it feels like a good time to do that. So, first we're going to start with 2016, the Super Bowl. The 2015, the game was played in 2016, so the 2015 Super Bowl. Now, as everybody knows, I'm a fan of the Jets, who don't ever make the Super Bowl. They did in the 60s, and that's it. And the team that I consider my second favorite team is the Los Angeles Rams. They weren't in Los Angeles at the time. So that means they were talking about my favorite quarterback. Probably my favorite football player, Peyton Manning. So Peyton Manning everybody kind of knew he's going to retire after the 2015 season. And he won Super Bowl back in 2006 with the Colts. Or it was 2005, something like that. He went to the Broncos. And they were always really, really good, really, really close. And they finally made it in 2015, and they were going against the Panthers, who were 15-1 that year. The Panthers were insane. Nobody thought the Broncos were going to win, but they ended up pulling out the championship, and I was so excited to see my favorite football player win a second Super Bowl and sort of go out on top. It was very, very cool, very, very fun experience for me to watch that. But of course, that's number 5 on the list because that's one player that I really like winning. We're going to talk about teams and things like that as we move up. So next we have 2013. This is only baseball thing they bring up in the 5 worst and the 5 best. Here, so 2013 is the Red Sox and the Cardinals. Now, I'm a fan of the Red Sox. I was at the Red Sox. They're the only team in Boston I like. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. Football, as you know, I hate the Patriots. Basketball, I don't like the Celtics. I don't even watch hockey, and I don't like the Bruins. I don't watch hockey, but I don't like them. But baseball, I like the Red Sox. I always have. But for me, 2013 is my favorite championship. Now, for most people who are Red Sox fans, everybody would say 2004. But I was 5 when they won in 2004, so I don't remember that. Obviously, looking back at it, that's so cool for them to finally win that World Series, but the connection that I have is to my parents saying, you watched that happen. And my parents buying a bunch of things that say World Series 2004 on it. And 2007 is very, very similar. I was 8, and I don't remember watching that World Series either. Again, I have a little bit more memory, sort of watching it a little bit, the final, Game 4. I remember watching it a little bit, but, again, I don't have that much memory of it. And for me, 2018 World Series, of course, I remember that it was, 7 months ago. But, I don't know, I didn't really know one of the players on the team, if I'm honest. I know, Mookie Betts and, Chris Sale and Xander Bogaerts before I started watching the playoffs. Because honestly, baseball to me, super boring during the regular season. Playoff baseball is super, super interesting, super fun to watch. But regular season baseball, I just can't. So for me, 2013 was really, really cool because I remember watching it. I remember being excited about it. I remember sitting in my living room where I used to live. This is the only sports moment from not at this house. which is very interesting. Because again, I didn't really start caring about sports until like 2012, maybe 2011. We'll say 2011 the latest. Besides NASCAR, I used to watch that all the time. But most other sports. By the way, I remember being in the living room and I was so excited. My parents were in the kitchen, sort of watching it from a distance, and being so excited that the Red Sox won that year. The moment that sticks out to me the most was when they were down. I don't know if it's down in the game. I believe it was down in the game. And David Ortiz there in the dugout, who's probably my favorite baseball player, was sort of, hyping up the whole team. That's why he won MVP that year. He's hyping up the whole team, and he's talking about, how he won 2004, 2007, and he's like, this is the moment you got to try to step up. And his whole, encouraging speech of the team really just got everybody fired up and went out there and won it. So that really stands out to me, was that. And it's just so cool to watch that and see it all unfold. Next for me is actually NASCAR. And this is 2014. My favorite driver, Kevin Harvick, winning his first and at the moment only championship. Now again, we're going to discuss why other championships of my favorite drivers are not on here. So before I got back into NASCAR in 2014, Tony Stewart was my favorite driver. Sort of switched in 2014 because I didn't really care. I'm like, oh, I'll like Kevin Harvick now. That's kind of what happened. I always liked Kevin Harvick. Probably one of my favorite drivers before I stopped watching NASCAR in about 2010. But I did like Tony Stewart before. But again, there's old pictures of me with the Kevin Harvick car from like 2001. I was like 2 when the picture. I was mad. But Tony Stewart won championship in 2002. I was 3. He won 2005. I was 6. He won 2011. I wasn't watching NASCAR when he won. So for me, those don't really stand out. Kevin Harvick winning 2014. The first year sort of went to a playoff format. And he won 2 races early in the season because I sort of started watching about race 9, 10 that year. So he won a couple races early in the season. And then the whole time I was watching until like the very end of the season, he was not winning races. But he just sort of made his way through the playoffs and finally won a race here and there. And it was so exciting to see. And then he got to Homestead, the final race of the season, and went out and dominated that race. And just to see finally favorite driver win a championship, because again, I was too little to watch 2 of them to remember it, and then one year I didn't watch and didn't care. So to sort of watch that and see how exciting that was to watch your favorite driver do a burnout celebration with the flag, and the pictures he took, seeing that, how excited he was with his kid and with his wife, it was just very cool to watch that and see the whole team with the trophy. And Tony Stewart owning the team was very cool. I actually had the picture over there of Kevin Harvick with the trophy, and it's like a whole little poster that came from NASCAR magazine that they don't make anymore. But it's the picture, he's got the trophy, and he's sitting there with the wall with his kid, and the burnout, and then a picture with the trophy again, and his kid and his wife in the picture, and then him holding up the trophy. It's very, very cool to just see how exciting it was for him and his whole family and the whole team. So very cool, and one of my more favorite things. Even though at this point I do have a little less interest in NASCAR in 2019, I can't say if he won a championship again I'd be as excited as I would be in 2014, but of course I'd still be excited. It's like I said with the Red Sox winning in 2018. Wasn't as exciting as I was in 2013. Next for me on the list of the best championships I've seen, 2018 Warriors and Cavs. For me, at this point I'm sure you can figure out which one's my favorite. For me, 2018, the Warriors and Cavs. First thing that stands out is the memes of LeBron James. Just like, what are you doing to J.R. Smith when he held the ball or sort of dribble out the clock at the end of the game, but in game 1. But really stands out to me is just sort of, first of all, the Warriors come out and sweeping the Cavs. Obviously, the Cavs were terrible. The reason why they made the finals was LeBron. Look at him when he left this year. The Cavs were like the second, third worst record in the league. Like, they're pretty bad once LeBron's not there. He carried the entire team. I don't know how he didn't win MVP last year. No idea. But LeBron carried his team to the finals and, got swept by the Warriors. And it was just sort of exciting to see, honestly, see a sweep. And Game 4 to be at my brother's house, which I went there because he's like, oh, do you want to come watch Game 4? So to come, or to go over to his house, watch Game 4, was very exciting, and something that obviously stands out to me about that season was us. We played 2K before, and then we sort of watched the game, and we were just talking about the game and the process, and it was very, very fun to have that experience and watch them win with my brother. It was very cool. But overall, just that's about that championship that really stands out to me, and winning two in a row is always cool. Which of course leads me to the number one championship moment for me, and that was 2017, the Warriors against the Cavs. And with this championship, the reason why this is so high up was, it kind of adds to the list of times I've seen my teams in different sports win. I'd seen my favorite baseball team win. I'd seen my favorite NASCAR driver win. So for most, most of the sports I cared about, there's 4 sports I care about, and to see the third sport to have that sort of crossed off was very cool. That year, 2017, not just went on the Jets to win. 2019, Sam Darnold going to get a championship for the Jets, hopefully. But 2017, to watch the Warriors sort of win that championship. Now I know the team was better than the year they won 73 games, but to see them sort of, make right the year before, the year they shouldn't have lost a 3-1 lead to the Cavs, come out here, win in 5. Shut down LeBron, shut down Kyrie. I'm not shutting down, but you know what I mean. Shut down the hype around him a little bit. Shut down the fact that people are like, oh, they can win again. Kevin Durant comes out, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, all 3 of them just destroy everybody. Sort of really makes up for the fact of the issues from the year before. It's the Redemption Championship, and the first one that I watched. And honestly, that surrounds a week. 2 years ago at this time that I'm recording this video, that I consider probably the best week that I ever had so far. I remember that week because I got Fiesta and Mystic, so I got new cats for the first time in a long time. I hadn't cats since October 2016, so not having any cats for that time. I'm not having any animals from April. So it was a couple months without any animals, but a couple months without having any cats. It was probably almost a year without having any cats. So, to get Fiesta and Mystic and watch the Warriors win a championship for the first time and graduate high school all in 1 week was very, very exciting, to say the least. So all that sort of combines together just make like an amazing week. I remember setting the thing that said champions on it on my Apple Watch before graduation. And I remember we had Fiesta and Mystic, and I remember just jumping up in my living room, so excited, and just running over to them and being like, they won the championship, they won. And I was just, both of them looked at me like, what are you doing? Because I only had them for like 2 days. So they're kind of just like, what? Like if I did that to Fiesta now, she'd just be like, cool. But she was kind of just like, what is wrong with you? She's kind of like afraid almost. So yeah, that's kind of a thing that, just for me, that year, that championship was just amazing. And it's sort of cool to think of that story compared to what I was told the other week about what my dad told me about when he watched the Bucks win a championship in the 70s, because he liked Kareem. That was his favorite player. And he told me, obviously there's a little difference in age. He was like 11 and I was like 18, but still. Just watching your team win a championship for the first time in basketball, there's similarities. He said it was the first time that he ever stood up and touched the ceiling. He was so excited to see the Bucks win. And for me, like I said, I jumped up out of the chair and went over to the cats, and I was just like, I was so excited to just, that's what stands out. And it's a very similar both jumping up. My dad jumping up, touching the ceiling, me jumping up towards the cats. Or not towards the cats, but, near the cats. It was very similar. But, you know what I mean. It's just kind of cool that he told me that the other day. So yeah, it's kind of, I like that comparison. But 2017, Warriors and Cavs. Favorite championship I've ever seen. The things that could top that? What could top 2017 Warriors championship? Well, a Jets Super Bowl win would top that. I can tell you that much. If the Jets win a Super Bowl, it would go above the Warriors Cavs championship. The Warriors against the Cavs, the 2017 championship. The Warriors. The only thing that could come close besides the Jets winning a Super Bowl is the Warriors winning another championship now that they've lost. But honestly, if they won this year, that would at least be above 2018. I can tell you that. If they won 19, it would have been above 18. Yeah, I mean, I think maybe because I already said they're not going to win in 2020. I feel like they're going to re-sign Kevin Durant now because he's hurt. I kind of had a feeling they weren't before, but now that he's hurt, I think Kevin Durant comes back. Klay Thompson, he's going to be out for almost a year. That team might make they'll make the playoffs. I mean, they got Steph Curry, Draymond Green still. They'll definitely be able to improve their bench a little bit by getting rid of DeMarcus Cousins. And I could see Sean Livingston, maybe even Andre Iguodala, both retiring. I know Sean Livingston, I think he's going to. But I could see Andre Iguodala retiring as well. And then I could definitely see, hopefully, a little bit more depth in the bench. But then, I think that if they come back and win in 2021, Klay Thompson gets healthy, Kevin Durant stays and gets healthy, they'll be determined to come back and win. They'll be 2 years removed from a championship, come back, win. Maybe 2021 Warriors championship would surpass 2017. But a Jets Super Bowl definitely would surpass that. So we'll have this video again in next year. And we'll discuss how the Jets Super Bowl is above the Warriors championship. But yeah, either way, again, top 5. Broncos Super Bowl 2015. Red Sox Super Bowl, Red Sox World Series 2013, Kevin Harvick's Cup Series Championship 2014, Warriors Championship in 2018, and Warriors Championship in 2017. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys did not check out the worst championships, make sure you check that out, because number 1 and 2 also have to do with the Warriors. So yeah, we'll see you guys in the next one.